How's everyone doing tonight? Awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And so do your loved ones. They're the reason you're here. It's not to see me. It's definitely to see them. So it's wonderful to see all of your smiling faces. Who here has been to a mediumship demonstration before? Nice, majority. And who has not been at all and does not know what they're doing here? Okay. You probably know what you're doing here, but was anybody coerced into coming tonight? Oh, they have been to many of my shows, and they say I coerced them. No. I'm going to explain a little bit about how this works, because I'll tell you, when I was sitting in your seat, it freaked me out. I'll just be honest about it, because I had no idea what was happening. Where were these voices coming from? How did the person know what the people on the other side were saying? How did they know? And so I don't know if you know my story. How many know my story, have read one of my books, more of my books? Awesome. I'll briefly go through my history, because really it's about your loved ones tonight. But it's important for you to know where I'm coming from, because I kind of fell into this through my own tragedy. My 7-year-old son passed away from the flu in March 2007. And that is what propelled me, more like launched like a rocket, into this realm, because I wanted to know where the hell he was. Was he okay? Did he make it? You know, those are the things that was concerning for me, being a mom, and he was only 7. Now I understand a lot more about, you know, how spirit world works and all of that, and he is doing great. He and I work together all the time. But in the beginning, I had no idea. I had no idea where he was, what he was doing, why any of this happened. I had no idea. So he took me on this journey, and he led me to the people who I needed to talk to, who would connect me back with him. And boy, was it a crazy ride, I'll tell you. And I'll tell you, the day that I found out that I could do this work, that I could do, that I was a medium, I laughed off of my chair, really, when I was on the phone with a medium, and I really wanted to talk to my son. This was just 6 months after he passed. And this was recommended to me by a friend of mine in California. So this woman never knew me. This was the first time that we spoke. She lived in Southern California, and we were on the phone, and she said, "Oh, the guides are telling me that you're a medium too, and that you can do the same work that I do." And I laughed, and I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean I can do this work? What does that mean?" And she said, "Well, they say you can hear them." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't hear them. I can't hear anything." And right at that moment, in my head, in a male voice, I heard, "You can hear us." And so, after being a little bit shocked, there were other voices in my head other than my own, I said, "Wow, I guess I can do this. I guess I can hear them." So immediately get launched into training. And then I never even thought I'd be up here on the stage, but one day my son JT came to me and he said, "Mom, we got to get you up in front of groups." And I said, "Oh, hell no." No way, what do you mean? How does that even work? How does that even work? Again, I was sitting in this very room watching a medium on stage going, wow, how the hell does that work? He said, "You don't have to worry about it. We're the ones that are going to do it. You just open yourself and let us talk through you." And so the very first time I did this work, scared out of my mind, and I got out to, it was at Anthology Book Company in Loveland, no longer there. It breaks my heart that they're not there, because it was a great place. But I was standing up there, and I had, the messages just started flowing through. But it was so funny, because I kept saying things, because there was a father here. You know, rainbows are important. I see big, white, fluffy clouds, and rainbow socks, and all of this really specific stuff. Nobody was taking it. nobody was claiming this poor dad who'd done a lot of work to get there. And I said to my guides, to JT, I'm going, what are you people doing up there? Nobody's taking them. What do I do? This is my first thing out, and I'm going to look like an idiot up here. And he said, look around. And so I looked around, and what they did was they dimmed the lights on everybody else, but this one woman who was like just about where you are right now, and she lit up. She just had this light around her. And so I went straight to her and I said, you know, your father's on the other side. She said, yes. And I said, you know, and I started giving the messages again. And she said, yes, yes. I said, well, why didn't you say anything before? She says, well, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was for me or not. And I remember being like that too. Because you don't want to, okay, is that for me? Is that not for me? But I'll tell you, now that I've been doing this for quite a few years, I will go directly to you more than likely, okay? Because they are really good at giving me the sign of who it belongs to. Now, there are instances where we have, let's say, a couple fathers come in, and you know, they want to talk to both of their children, or you know, they're separate. We will work with that as they come. But I have a special events guide who rounds everybody up and sends them in one at a time. And so that is how I anticipate that it will work, but we never know. I should say that. See, they're flying around now. Do you see it? So, you do, yeah. The other thing that you need to know about this is that I'm not special. I just learned how to do this. It was very important for me to connect with my boy. So that is why I learned how to do this. But we can all connect with our loved ones, and we all should connect with our loved ones. They want us to know that they are okay. They want us to know that they're happy, out of pain, you know, where the checkbook is, you know, those things that, that we're going, where'd they put that checkbook? Those kinds of things. They want us to know these things. And so they work very hard at giving us messages and signs after they pass. Who here has received messages? Say the back row better light up there. Okay, good. Awesome. Through other people, right? And messages, you know, signs. You know, so funny. For whatever reason, they're really pounding my husband right now. Not literally, but JT is giving him sign after sign after sign. He had a hawk land in front of his truck today, after finding a hawk feather on his truck when he got out, when he opened the garage. So that is, you know, the hawk is important to him. So they are really being blatant. Sometimes our loved ones aren't so blatant. You know, sometimes it's the subtlety. Sometimes it's the, you know, was that bird really talking to me? Or was that just a bird yakking? If you think of your loved one and then have something unique happen, that is your loved one. If you have something unique happen and then you think of your loved one, that's still your loved one. They're putting the thought into your head that this is them. And they can come in many, many forms. They can come in all animals. They also drop feathers and coins. Who here has received coins and feathers from their loved ones? Yeah, isn't that awesome? In the weirdest places. Places that should not have feathers, you find feathers. That is them. They are so bent. It is so important to them to get the messages to you. So they will work through people, whatever. Who here has received angel messages? That's another big one too, a couple of people. And the angels will work with your loved ones to bring messages as well. And they'll go through people, whatever they need to do. So it is really important to be observant of your surroundings and to know, you know, yeah, sometimes a rock is just a rock, but is that rock heart-shaped? I know people who get heart-shaped rocks all the time from their loved ones, and they're just placed in the middle of where they're walking. So they will go to any lengths, including trying to shut me up now. They say I'm talking too much. So the way this works is I allow them to kind of come through me. I'm not a what is that, trance medium. I think that's what I was looking to the back row for the vernacular on that. Not a trance medium. I do not leave my body. I feel very comfortable in my body. I don't really want to go anywhere. I don't like other energies in my body while I'm not there. They're fine. It's fine if they want to come through while I'm here, but I do have some rules. So I ask them to use my body. I ask them to use, give me how you felt. They'll usually show me who they are. In essence, they'll either show themselves above you or to the side of you. Above would be parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. To the side would be contemporaries, partners, and then below is usually children. Although sometimes husbands will come through as children because they know. They know they were kids when they were here.